The Cubs had a 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals. We're going to look over all 3 of those games. We're going to look at what went right and what went wrong. All of that is happening on this episode of Cubs 360. What's up, Cubs fans? This is Jack from Cubs 360. Thank you very much for tuning in to episode 32 of the Cubs 360 podcast. If you're interested in this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and also follow us on Twitter at Cubs360X. So this is my series recap to the Kansas City Royals series, and we're going to start with game number 1 right now. So in the top of the first, Ryan Brasier pitching for the Cubs. This is a bullpen game for the Cubs, by the way. Jonathan India grounds out to Brasier. Bobby Witt Jr. will ground out to short, and Pasquantino will strike out swinging. In the bottom of the first, Cameron pitching for the Royals. Nico Hoerner struck out swinging. Kyle Tucker will pop out to third, and Suzuki strikes out on an automatic strike. In the top of the second now, Garcia will line out to center. Perez will fly out to right. Caglione will hit a home run to left center field and make 1-0 Kansas City. They draw first blood. And Lofton struck out swinging, and Ben Brown was pitching for the Cubs in the top of the second. In the bottom of the second now, Kelly will hit a home run to tie it up at 1 apiece. Happ will pop out to the catcher. Swanson will hit a base hit to left. Bush will strike out swinging. Turner will hit a double to left, which will send Swanson to third. And then Matt Shaw with a home run to left field to make it 4-1 Cubs. And then Hoerner will ground out to third. In the top of the third now, Ben Brown pitching for the Cubs. Rave will strike out swinging. Isbell will fly out to right, as well as India. In the bottom of the third now, Tucker will fly out to center. Suzuki struck out looking. Kelly will reach on an infield single to the catcher. Ian Happ will hit a base hit to center, which will send Kelly to second, and Swanson struck out swinging. In the top of the fourth now, Bobby Witt Jr. struck out swinging. Pasquantino will ground out to third. Garcia will hit a base hit to left, and Salvador Perez will hit a home run to left center field. And we have 4-3. It is a 1-run game in favor of the Cubs. And then Caglione will strike out looking. In the bottom of the fourth, Bush will fly out to left. Turner will hit a base hit to right. Shaw will fly out to right, and Nico Hoerner will ground it out to Cameron. In the top of the fifth now, Ben Brown pitching for the Cubs. Lofton will reach on an infield single to second. Rave will ground it into a fielder's choice to first. Lofton is out at second. Isbell will hit a base hit to left. Rave will go to second. India will hit a double to left to tie the game as Rave scores. Isbell will go to third, so it is 4-4. Bobby Witt Jr. will reach on an infield single to second to score Isbell. India will go to third, so there's runners in the corners to make it 5-4. And then India scored on a throwing error by Kelly. Bobby Witt Jr. stole third to make it 6-4. And then Bobby Witt Jr. scored on a wild pitch by Ben Brown to make it 7-4. So error after error, and that's what brought in some runs by Kansas City. And then Pasquantino will pop out to short, and Garcia will ground out to short. In the bottom of the fifth now, Tucker grounds out to short. Suzuki will ground out to third, as well as Kelly. In the top of the sixth now, Flexen pitching for the Cubs. Perez will fly out to center. Caglione will fly out to center, and Lofton will ground out to third. In the bottom of the sixth now, Happ will ground out to the catcher. Swanson struck out swinging. Bush struck out looking. In the top of the seventh now, Rave will hit a home run to right center and make it 8-4 in favor of the Royals. Isbell will hit a base hit to right. India bunts into a fielder's choice to Flexen. Isbell will be out at second. Bobby Witt Jr. will fly out to right, and Pasquantino will ground out to second. Schreiber pitching for the Royals in the bottom of the seventh. Turner will fly out to right. Shaw will ground out to second, and Nico Hoerner will line out to center. Flexen still pitching for the Cubs in the top of the eighth. Garcia will hit a double to left, and Salvador Perez with another home run to make it 10-4 Kansas City. Caglione will get walked. Lofton will hit a base hit to center, which will send Caglione to third. Rave will hit a base hit to center to score Caglione. Lofton will go to second, so it is 11-4. Isbell will hit a base hit to load the bases. India grounded it into a fielder's choice to third. Isbell will go to second. Rave will go to third. Lofton is out at home. And then Bobby Witt Jr. will ground it into a fielder's choice to short. Rave will score. India is out at second. Isbell will go to third to make it 12-4 Kansas City. And then Pasquantino will line out to first to end the inning. And that's another 4 runs in that inning alone. And the bottom of the eighth now, Hoffman pitching for the Kansas City Royals. As Tucker will get walked, Suzuki will fly out to center. Kelly will hit a base hit to right. And Happ will ground out to short. Kelly will go to second. Tucker will go to third. And then Swanson struck out swinging. Birdie pitching for the Cubs in the top of the ninth. It was fun the first time with him against the St. Louis Cardinals. This time, not as fun. Brujan is at second. Garcia will line out to short. Perez will fly out to right. And Caglione will line out to center. In the bottom of the ninth now, Hoffman still pitching for the Royals. Tolbert is at second. Garcia is at short. And Maley will be catching, and Lofton is at third. Bush will get walked. Turner will fly out to left. Shaw will hit a base hit to left, and Bush will go to second. And then Brujan will ground it into a double play to end the game. The Chicago Cubs get destroyed, and they lose the series opener 12-4 against the Royals. Cameron with the win. He's 4-4 on the year. 6 innings pitched. He gave up 4 earned runs and 7 hits with 7 strikeouts. Ben Brown undoubtedly with the loss. 4 innings pitched, gave up 6 earned runs and 7 hits with only 4 strikeouts. Not a great start for Ben Brown, and he wasn't even technically starting. Ryan Brazier was the opener, but get my point, Brown was not good in this game, and it just shows like the bullpen games, I know they work in the playoffs and a lot of teams use them, but we can't be using them in the regular season, and that's really why the Cubs should have addressed starting pitching at the deadline, and they didn't. But nonetheless, like I said, we can only work with what we got, and the bullpen games just they have to stop because they just don't work. So nonetheless, the Royals win Game 1, and the Cubs have a chance to bounce back in Game number 2. So in Game number 2, Matt Boyd pitching for the Cubs. India will fly out to center. Bobby Witt Jr. will line out to left, and Garcia will ground out to third. In the bottom of the first, 45-year-old Rich Hill. So 20 years ago, he was making his debut for the Cubs, and now he is making his season debut for the Royals at 45 years old. Good for Rich Hill. Anyways, Nico Hoerner will hit a base hit to left. Tucker struck out looking. Suzuki will get walked. Kelly will ground out to third. Suzuki will go to second. And Nico Hoerner will go to third. And then PCA will fly out to center. In the top of the second now, Perez will ground out to third. Lofton will ground out to short. And Caglione struck out swinging. In the bottom of the second now, Swanson will hit a base hit to left. Happ will ground it into a fielder's choice to third. Swanson is safe at second on a fielding error by Lofton at third. And then Turner will ground it into a fielder's choice to second first. And then Turner will go to first on the error by first baseman Perez. Happ is out at second, Swanson to third. And then Matt Shaw will reach on an infield single to second to score Swanson. Turner will go to second to make it 1-0 Cubs. Shaw stole second and Turner stole third. And then Nico Hoerner will ground it into a fielder's choice to short. Turner will score and Shaw is out at third to make it 2-0 Cubs. Nico Hoerner steals second. Tucker will get walked and Suzuki will pop out to first. In the top of the third now, Furman will ground out to second. Rave will ground out to second and Isbell struck out looking. In the bottom of the third now, Kelly will ground out to third. PCA grounds out to second, and Swanson will hit base hit to center. And he stole second, but then Happ will pop out to first. In the top of the fourth now, India will fly out to right. Bobby Witt Jr. struck out swinging. Garcia gets walked, and then Perez will ground it into a fielder's choice to short, and Garcia is out at second. In the bottom of the fourth now, Turner will ground out to third. Shaw will fly out to right, as well as Nico Hoerner. In the top of the fifth, Lofton will hit a base hit to right. Caglione will ground out to short. Lofton will go to second. Furman will hit a base hit to right, which will send Lofton to third. Rave will reach on a bunt single to Matt Boyd. Furman will go to second. And then Isbell will line it into a double play to end the inning. As we go to the bottom of the fifth now, Tucker will ground out to Rich Hill. Suzuki will fly out to center. Carson Kelly will hit a base hit to left. And then PCA will hit a double to right. Kelly will score, and PCA is out stretching at third to end the inning. It is 3-0 in favor of the Cubs. In the top of the sixth now, India struck out looking. Bobby Witt Jr. struck out swinging, and Garcia will ground out to short. At the bottom of the sixth now, Bolin pitching for the Royals. So that is the end of the game for 45-year-old Rich Hill, and he overall had a pretty decent outing, I must say. Swanson will ground out to third. Happ will fly out to center. Bush will pinch hit for Turner, and he struck out swinging. In the top of the seventh now, Matt Boyd is still pitching for the Cubs. Bush will go to first. Perez will fly out to right. Lofton will fly out to center. Caglione will hit a base at the center, and Furman struck out swinging. In the bottom of the seventh now, Matt Shaw will reach on a bunt single to the pitcher. Nico Hoerner will hit a base hit to right, which will send Shaw to third. Nico Hoerner stole second. Tucker will get walked. Suzuki will hit a base at the center to score Shaw. Tucker will go to second. Nico Hoerner will go to third to make it 4-0 Cubs. And then Carson Kelly will hit a sac fly to center to score Nico Hoerner. Tucker will go to third to make it 5-0. And then Long will be pitching for the Royals now as PCA struck out swinging. Tucker stole home as Seiya Suzuki stole second. So Kyle Tucker stealing a base home. Good for him to make it 6-0 Cubs. And then Dansby Swanson struck out swinging. In the top of the eighth now, Thielbar pitching for the Cubs. Rave struck out swinging. Isbell grounds out to second, and India will line up to center. So 1-2-3 inning there for the Cubs and Thielbar. In the bottom of the eighth now, Clark pitching for the Royals. Ian Happ struck out looking. Bush is safe at first on a fielding error by Rave at left field, and Bush is safe at second on the error. Matt Shaw struck out looking, and Nico Hoerner will ground out to short. Palencia pitching for the Cubs. In the top of the ninth now, Bobby Witt Jr. will hit a base hit to center. Garcia will ground it into a double play. Perez will hit a base hit to right, and Lofton struck out swinging to end the game. The Cubs tie the series in the second game, winning by a final score of 6-0. Matt Boyd with the win, who's 11-3 on the year. 7 innings pitched. He gave up no earned runs, 4 hits with 6 strikeouts. Rich Hill did get the loss with 5 innings pitched. He gave up only 1 earned run and 6 hits with 1 strikeout. So my 3 starts for this game, Matt Shaw was my third star, who went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Nico Hoerner went 2 for 5 with an RBI is my second star. Matt Boyd, obviously my first star, and I just read the stats to you. Phenomenal outing for Matt Boyd. So with that said, the Cubs win 6-0, and they have a chance to take the series in game number 3. So in the third and final game, Colin Rea pitching for the Cubs. Frazier safe at first on a fielding error by Suzuki, and he goes to second on the error. Garcia hit a sac bunt to third, and Frazier will go to third. Pasquantino hits a home run in right center field to make it 2-0 in favor of Kansas City. Salvador Perez will hit a base hit to left. Caglione will fly out to center, and Ray will ground out to second. In the bottom of the first now, Bush will hit a base hit to right. Suzuki struck out swinging. PCA pops out to short, and Kelly will fly out to left. In the top of the second now, Furman struck out swinging. Isbell struck out looking. Tolbert is safe at first on a throwing error by Dansby Swanson, and he stole second, but then Frazier will fly out to center. In the bottom of the second, and by the way, Seth Lugo, if I didn't mention it already, is pitching for the Royals. Ian Happ will get walked. Swanson reaches on an infield single to short. Happ will go to second. Nico Hoerner will ground it into a double play. Swanson's out at second. Happ will go to third. McGuire will hit a base hit to right to score, or Happ to make it 2-1, and then Matt Shaw will ground it out to second. In the top of the third now, Garcia pops out to short. Pasquantino will hit a double to center. Salvador Perez with another home run in the left center field to make it 4-1 Royals. And then Caglione struck out looking. Rave will ground out to first. In the bottom of the third now, Bush got hit by the pitch. Suzuki grounds out to second. Bush will go to second. PCA will fly out to left. Kelly will hit a double to left to score Bush to make it 4-2. And then Ian Happ will line out to center. In the top of the fourth now, Furman will ground out to second. Isbell will ground out to first. And Tolbert will ground out to first as well. In the bottom of the fourth now, Swanson gets walked. Nico Hoerner will ground out to second. Swanson will go to second. McGuire will foul out to the catcher, and Matt Shaw will ground out to short. In the top of the fifth now, Colin Rea still pitching for the Cubs. Frazier will ground out to third. Garcia will hit a base at the center, and he stole second. Pasquantino with a home run to right center field to make it 6-2 Kansas City. Perez will fly out to right, and Caglione will fly out to left. In the bottom of the fifth now, Bush will fly out to left. Suzuki struck out swinging, and PCA struck out swinging. In the top of the sixth now, Pomeranz pitching for the Cubs. Ray struck out swinging. Furman will ground out to short. Isbell got hit by the pitch. And then Tolbert with a home run to make it 8-2 Kansas City. And then Frazier struck out swinging. In the bottom of the sixth now, Kelly struck out swinging, as well as Ian Happ, who struck out looking. And then Dansby Swanson struck out swinging. In the top of the seventh now, Ryan Presley pitching for the Cubs. Garcia pops out to first. Pasquantino will get walked. Perez will line out to second. Caglione will ground out to Ryan Presley. In the bottom of the seventh now, Cruz pitching for the Royals. Nico Hoerner will hit a base hit to left. McGuire will ground it into a double play. Matt Shaw will hit a home run to left center field to make it 8-3, and then Bush will fly out to left. In the top of the eighth now, Krisky pitching for the Cubs. Ray will fly out to left. Furman struck out looking, and Isbell will ground out to first. In the bottom of the eighth now, Schreiber pitching for the Royals. Frazier's at third, and Indy is at second. Suzuki will pop out to second. PCA with a home run to right field to make it 8-4, and then Kelly will ground out to second. Happ will get walked, and Swanson will strike out swinging. Krisky still pitching for the Cubs in the top of the ninth. India will get walked. Frazier reaches on a bunt single to third. India will go to second. And then Garcia will fly out to left. Pasquantino will ground out to short. Frazier will go to second, and India will go to third. And then Perez got intentionally walked, and Caglione will ground it out to Krisky. And then in the bottom of the ninth now, last licks for the Cubs. Melendez is in left field, and then Rave is in right field. Nico Hoerner will fly out to center. Turner will pinch it for McGuire, and he pops out to second. Matt Shaw will line out to third to end the game. The Kansas City Royals take Game 3 and the series, winning Game 3 by a final score of 8-4. So the win goes to Seth Lugo, 7-5 on the year, 6 innings pitched. He gave up 2 earned runs and 4 hits with 6 strikeouts. Colin Rea with a loss, who's 8-4 on the year, 5 innings pitched, 5 earned runs and 6 hits with 3 strikeouts. So Colin Rea was not great in this game, and neither were the Cubs as a whole. The offense, when they had chances, they didn't capitalize, and again, the pitching just wasn't really great in this series overall, except the second game. That's 20 runs overall that were scored by the Royals in both of their wins, and the Cubs really had nothing more to show for it. So, again, I would have preferred a lot more in the series against Kansas City, but at the end of the day, they're still 60-42 after the series, so they're still hanging on. But, again, it wasn't pretty. I'll just put it to you that way. They had a great win in Game 2, but Games 1 and 3, they were not the Cubs that we know from earlier in the year. So with that said, this is my series recap. If you're interested in the content, feel free to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Cubs360X. And most importantly, give me your thoughts on this series recap. And I said this in the Red Sox series recap. This series recap is coming out simultaneously with the Red Sox series recap. So if you did not check out the Boston Red Sox series recap, I recommend you doing so. So with that said, that's all I have for this episode. This is Jack from Cubs360. And as always, go Cubs go.